For most of my life, I thought discipline was the answer to almost everything. Work harder, be tough, push through. And while discipline did help me a lot, I realized there was something even more powerful: love. Growing up early in my childhood, we didn't have a lot of money. I went through a lot of hard times. Things they weren't easy. I had a loving family. My parents loved me. I had a lot of siblings. We had a lot of love, but times were tough. There were times we didn't have electricity, barely had food to eat, but we did have love. I saw some abuse, some bad things in my household, not towards me, but towards other people. And it was hard as a young child. It started to make me to build that shell that most of us are carrying at an earlier age. When every day you're going through difficult times, and especially as a young child, you're not sure what to do. So you try to protect yourself. You try to build a tough exterior to maybe somehow just get through it. Well, I know sometimes building a shell is necessary, or at least partly necessary, but over time that shell gets thicker and thicker, and then it's hard to get things through it. After my early years of childhood, all the way through adulthood, and I kept accumulating and building on that shell, and I thought it was protecting me. I thought it was making me stronger. I thought it was making me a better person. I thought it would help the people around me. A lot of people I lost trust in this early age, and I had this shell. And then when I got into dating and stuff, sometimes in my relationships, I noticed, sometimes I was always protecting myself, always worried I was going to get hurt, and it led to other flaws later in my life. And I guess around COVID, around that time, I had to shut my office down. I'm a massage therapist for about 20 something years now, and so I got into reading self-development books. I got certified in personal training and health coaching to learn more, and hopefully, that thinking, man, if I get myself straight, maybe I can help other people down the road. But it's a long road. Most of my whole structure was just about discipline, and I am a man of faith. And let me tell you, no matter what your beliefs are, whatever it is right now, I got love for you, and please stay and continue to watch, because this is a universal message. And if you're struggling through things, please listen, because this may help you. But over time, I realized it just didn't seem like it was working. Recently, I finished reading the whole Bible, and something clicked with that as I compared the Old Testament to the New Testament. I don't know, it was just kind of like a wake-up call. And so with a lot of reflection and some experiences I've been through, I started to realize maybe discipline isn't the only way. Maybe it's not the best way. Now, it does matter and it does help, but it's not all. I was learning how to become stronger, but I wasn't learning how to be softer when I needed to be. But I was way off. I'm not going to go too deep into this right now, but within the last year, I had a pretty profound experience, and where I felt God's presence and His love, and it did something to me. And I know my kids love me, and I love them, but I didn't always express it the way. Sometimes I was too hard on them. Sometimes just discipline too strong. I guess because when I was younger, I got hurt so much, and I seen so many bad things in my life. I was worried that my kids were going to see these things, and I tried my best to protect them. But then I started to realize that it's not working. And as I got older into the preteen years, I noticed I got a little more discipline, a little more harder, and I wasn't making the choices in my life that were making me happy. So I fell to substances and bad habits. But with this loving experience I got, I don't know, it did something to me. And I thought about it. I was like, if this love that I'm feeling, this unconditional, true love, this loving experience that I had, and what it did to me, it opened up something to me. It gave me a different perspective on life, a different perspective of other people's point of views, and it changed my whole outlook on life and the world. And it helped me to open up to my wife and to express her the pain I've carried all these years, open up some of my earlier childhood and things sometimes that I held or hid because, I don't know, maybe I was embarrassed, maybe I felt it made me weak, I don't know. Some things were just hard to talk about. But the love and me opening up to her really helped that relationship. And so after that experience, me and my wife, she didn't realize a lot of the stress and baggage I've been carrying all these years, a lot of it from my childhood, and maybe I didn't either. But that shell was starting to crack a little bit. It did crack a little bit. That experience made me think, hey, step back. Get away from your ego. Get away from who you think you are, who you think you need to be. So I went back in my head to who I was as a young child, 5, 6, before all these things started, I started seeing these things. And I remember I was a young, kind kid. I liked to laugh and have fun and loving kid. And so I started to open up my heart a little bit. I started following the words of Jesus. And since I've started to open up my heart, I've noticed the relationship with my kids. They speak to me more. They talk to me more. And yes, I know they always knew I loved them and cared about them. But sometimes they were scared of me. I didn't realize that because, especially as a man, sometimes we know just how we come off. And sometimes in my head, I just perceived they knew these things, but they didn't. But since I've started to incorporate love more in my life and try to show empathy to other people and try to see where they're coming from and realizing in my head all these years of what these hard times have done to me, ego of myself, who I thought I was. But the true me was to me when I was 5, 6 years old, when I look back at who I was as a kid. So stripping all the BS away and all the things that I've been holding in and holding me back and not trusting people, even my wife sometimes, not giving her the full trust to let her know everything about me. And sometimes being too hard, thinking it helps my kids, but sometimes your kids don't need a tough dad. They need a loving dad. I don't know, but since I've done these things, and I'm still working, I'm not perfect. My shell ain't gone, but man, I've done chiseled a lot of that off, and I'm going to tell you that, and I'm still working on it. I'm starting to realize that love doesn't make me weaker. It's making me more complete. So I wanted to make this channel Love as It Lends, and not just for men, but for everyone, anybody. I believe love is the answer to most things, and I don't have all the answers. With this channel, I hope to explore love, faith, growth, relationships, and what really matters. And maybe if you've ever felt like you've been carrying your own shell around, maybe this channel can help you. So I'm just asking anyone right now, if you're watching this, I believe no matter what you're going through in your life or what you're doing or what you said, there's something in the back of your mind that tells you sometimes, am I doing things the right way? Am I truly happy? Am I being me? Are you being you? Are you truly being you? Or are you being what you want people to believe you are? Look back at your childhood. Look back before social media. Look back before all the influence of other people, when you were you, when you were just raw, man. And that's kind of where I feel like I've got now. And I'm not completely there yet, but like it's the raw version of me, who I really am. Not with all these years of life, if you know what I mean. I'm telling you, if you're going through a hard time right now and you just don't know and you're struggling, and even if it's not that you just got this big show, I'm going to tell you something. Love alone can change a lot. If you got people in your life that care about you and love you, that's a blessing. If you're alone right now watching this and you don't have anyone, I'm going to tell you one thing. God loves you. God does love you, and I promise you that. You may not see him or hear him, but I can promise you, he's there and he's listening. I know. God loves you. You might discipline your kid. I don't mean you got to sit there and that you're hurting them or beating them, but times where maybe we're a little said things you didn't mean, or we're just a little too rough on them, and you kind of, that little voice in the back of your head, which I believe is God, letting you know this ain't right. Open up your heart. But right now, the main thing I just want to get across, what if love isn't the weakness? What if it's actually the strongest power we have? I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I thank you for watching. I plan to make at least one video a week and touch some of these topics deeper. Hey, but just remember, if you're feeling down, you're feeling alone, somebody does love you. I thank you for watching. I ask you please to like and subscribe. And even if you don't do that, just take that simple message that I'm trying to put out there. Start looking at that shell you got on you. Start working on it and trying to chisel at it and open up your heart, because you are loved. And if you don't feel loved, I promise you, I know somebody does love you. I know they do.